How do you think the film came out as when compared to the book, as well as the other films?
Well, I think that this movie, it portrays the messages that Jack had in Dawn Treader, I think even more strongly than the book does. The temptation comes as so alive when you put it on the screen. It's a book all about temptation and basically how to deal with it. Screwtape Letters for kids, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
And it really works in this film. We, of course, as always, we have to change from a word format into a visual format. And changes have to be made. And some people, no doubt, some of our colleagues and friends, will at first glance, probably you have to go back to see the movie a couple of times, because at first glance some of them might jar.
Yeah.
But when you've seen it 3 or 4 times, it all starts to make sense. When you've seen it 150 times, it really makes sense. But yeah, I think this movie works very well. It also takes us back to the beauty and glory and mysticism of Narnia. I mean, Prince Caspian's a beautiful film, but it's almost a political war story, whereas this is such an adventure, such a beautiful adventure. And we've got the option of so many different islands and so many different locations in this movie that we've been able to recreate the real beauty of the mystique of Narnia. I think it comes across beautifully.
What were your inspirations for the different looks of the islands? Was it the book, or was it...
Well, yes, we always start with the book. If you have something, we don't do it in this movie, but if you have something called Burnt Island, it's going to be an island that's burnt, so it's easy. Incidentally, the port of Narrowhaven in the Lone Islands is kind of modelled on Malta, where I live. The architecture is very similar. It looks very Maltese, and it's very beautiful, as you probably noted. The islands are much as described by Jack in the book.
Right.
Dark Island, of course, we had to do a few more things with, because Dark Island in the book is just darkness, and you can't really film that successfully. You have to get something else going there, which we did. I think Dark Island's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to live there, but I think it's beautifully portrayed.
Right. And talk a bit about the green mist and what it meant in the film.
Well, in this movie, we don't have an all-talking, walking, dancing witch, or any other villain of that sort. We don't have an ogre. We don't have anything like that. So we had to come up with some way of depicting the world of Narnia's own reaction to the presence of evil, which is foreign to Narnia, as it is to this world, but it's very foreign to Narnia. And so we came up with the idea of having some kind of visible mist that oozes out of things, and then it sort of gathers up on people and so forth, which is our way of depicting how Narnia is reacting to the horror. It makes it visible. You can actually see the evil, and Narnia allows us to see the evil so that we can cope with it. And I think that's what this was all supposed to depict.
And would that kind of also foreshadow the Lady of the Green Kirtle for the
Well,
Silver
that's
Chair?
probably why the mist is green, but that's the only foreshadowing effect, yes. We do know from this that there is still evil. The death of the White Witch and her expulsion to whatever realm people like that go to, and that sort of thing, that's not the end of the evil in Narnia. We know it's there. We had to find a way in Dawn Treader of showing it being there rather than talking about it being there.
Right.
And that's how we did it. In Silverchair, of course, we have the evil embodied again.
And would the Green Kirtle lady be a new cast, or would Tilda maybe...
I think it'll have to be a new cast.
Okay.
This evil spirit has found a new young body in which to inhabit. And I think that has to happen.
Do you know if the plan is to go forward with the Silver Chair if this one does really well, or...
Well, that's a moot point. We are still in discussions as to exactly what to do next. The leading opinion, I think, among the filmmakers is that we should do Silverchair next. There are some who would probably want to do Magician's Nephew or something.
Right.
But yeah, this is a decision we have to make when we know whether we're going to be making another Narnia movie at this stage.
Yeah, we ran a poll that 75% of fans wanted Silver Chair over the Magician's Nephew.
75% wanted the Silver Chair.
The Silver
Well, that's
Chair.
interesting to know.
Yes.
Interesting to know. Yeah.
And is there anything else you'd like to say to Narnia fans in general about
Yeah,
the film?
keep going and seeing our movies. Take all your friends. Take your friends' friends. Take your friends' enemies. Take your enemies. You're supposed to love your enemies too, remember?
Right.
And go and see it 4 or 5 times. Actually, this is a movie you do need to see more than once to really get the enjoyment out of it. So go as many times as you can afford, because we really need your support to make more Narnia movies. It all depends on you.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Good
Yeah,
to see you, Paul.
appreciate it. You too.